Welcome to this introduction to OKRs. I'm Sarah Lobkovich, the creator of Evolutionary OKRs. I'm a former strategic executive, non-practicing attorney, and current OKR activist whose passion is working with clients tackling transformational change. Objectives and Key Results, or OKRs, are a collaborative goal-setting practice that evolved out of Peter Drucker's Management by Objectives. OKRs were popularized by John Doerr's book, Measure What Matters. Based on the excitement Measure What Matters creates, thousands of organizations around the world have adopted OKRs. Some have succeeded, like Google, Intel, and Microsoft, and others, there's been some report of struggle. Spotify's an example. Based on work with thousands of clients in hundreds of organizations, we've evolved a more efficient, coherent, and results-focused approach to the OKR methodology, and that's what we call evolutionary OKRs. In addition to being a collaborative goal-setting methodology, we think of OKRs as a thinking, deciding, and learning practice that helps us achieve greater growth, transformation, and innovation by aligning on our most important measures of progress and success. Evolutionary OKRs mean thinking deeply about what's important and what might be possible, identifying which measures of progress and success help us make better decisions in our work and organizations. Curiosity, experimentation, and even failure help us learn how to improve and grow. Now, we typically hear about the benefits for OKRs in the context of the organization and senior leadership. But OKRs have big benefits for individuals and organizations. OKRs let us define our own success and progress measures, even when external expectations aren't clear. They help us focus on what's most important, not only what's urgent. Fitting our OKRs onto a single page reduces the risk of if I can't see it, it doesn't exist that happens with a lot of other strategic planning artifacts. And OKRs help us retrain our brains for our reward centers to activate not only when we tick a box completed or when we win, and not only grieving when we lose. OKRs help us have our reward centers light up when we complete a task, when we win, when we experiment and learn something and get curious and make progress. And last, OKRs put us in a position to do less mind reading and reduce the cognitive overhead that we might spend now trying to figure out what's important. So, what's different about objectives and key results compared to other forms of planning? First, let's take a look at how a lot of organizations strategize and plan today. Many organizations have their durable strategies in the form of their mission, vision, and long range strategic plan, often an annual plan or annual operating plan that might be budget based. And then our teams plan in a mix of strategic and tactical levels, often not in alignment with each other. And some skip right to planning their activities, and everyone's planning in different activity planning systems. If we think about this as a stack, we've got our durable strategic elements at the top of the stack, and then down below, we have that activity soup and the team planning that we already looked at. But that leaves us with this gap in the middle where we might be hoping, trusting, or wishing for luck that our strategic goals are going to connect with our implementation and vice versa. It also might depend on assumptions. We might see spin or positioning, and we also might see a lot of risk as a result of this gap. And then in a worst case scenario, we see teams perhaps avoiding bringing up issues or making decisions based on bias instead of data. It leaves us with a confidence gap over how do we know our activities will add up to achievement of our most important outcomes, and the financial focus gap, where our metrics might be very financial and revenue focused. But if I don't sit in sales or finance, how does my work connect to those measures? Then we also have a subjective objective gap. With a planning stack like this, we have little objective data to run the business based on as we move through each quarter. But this form of planning is very common. there is a better way, and that's to connect our strategic steps. That means we do have those durable strategies, but we don't go straight from there to our activity planning. We have a layer in between where we define our objectives and our key results, and those are our stretch goals. They help us describe what success means and how we'll know when we're making progress. Some organizations also use the construct of commits, which are goals that must be achieved 100%, or there might be consequences. Those are distinguished from our key results because typically in our objectives and key results, we're setting stretch goals. So we are safe to try and even fail on our objectives and key results in the pursuit of growth and progress. So then we plan our work. We plan our activities so that our most important initiatives are identified in the form of key initiatives. Those are the initiatives that describe how we achieve our objectives and key results. When we connect our strategic stack, what we have is clarity and focus about our most important business measures of success and progress. And then we can align what we do, the activities we plan, to be maximally designed to help us achieve our actual strategy. So, what do OKRs look like? Completed OKRs at the company level might look something like this. We aim to have no more than 3 to 5 objectives, and each objective typically has between 3 and 6 key results. Although we want to keep our key results really focused, so it's not a bad thing to only have a few. So let's look at the characteristics of great OKRs. Number one, they fit on a page, so we can see them, we can keep them top of mind, and we prevent the issue or risk of if I don't see it, it doesn't exist when our plans live in decks and systems. Our objectives are directional. They're usually not measurable, and they have a connection to a clear theme. The themes help with alignment as key results move throughout the organization. Our key results are measurable. Key results are where we agree on how we're going to measure success and progress. At the company level, our OKRs are typically communicated annually, sometimes with a quarterly target. At the team level, OKRs are typically communicated quarterly, even if teams set annual goals elsewhere to be able to work back to their quarterly key result. So let's dive a little deeper and look at objectives and key results in a little more detail. What is an objective when we're talking about OKRs? An objective is a directional statement of shared purpose that describes what we're pursuing together and why it matters. It helps our objectives when they have an identified theme or themes so that subteams can align to the objective theme, even if they don't align to the exact language of the upstream objective. Think of objectives like strategic or visionary pillars. Added together, they describe what's most important for us to make progress on so that we are moving toward achieving our strategic priorities. Strongest objectives describe their why in human terms. Why is this important to the most important stakeholder? When the why behind an objective is because we're a business and we need to generate revenue, that objective may be inspiring to some people, but might not help other people understand the purpose of their work. The strongest objectives are useful. They're short enough to be memorable. And when we run into a conflict or difficult decision, we can look at our objectives to break ties or help us decide how to move forward. So let's look at a couple examples. We've got a people and culture objective of high satisfaction talent creates inspired products that help our users create brighter futures. And here's another example for a more executional part of the business because this company has a major product launch coming up. The objective around that key initiative is that new product 2.0 launches with a customer experience so delightful our users can't wait to tell their friends about it. Now that we know what objectives are, let's look a little closer at why key results are important because key results are really what's unique about the practice of OKRs. But First, why do we bother writing measurable key results? We work hard to write measurable key results because we want to eliminate a common issue that occurs often that the OKR community calls watermelon metrics. Watermelon metrics are where we have a performance measure or progress measure that gets reported as green subjectively all quarter. But then when we get to the end of the quarter, we turn red on the ultimate result. It's green on the outside, red on the inside. So this happens when, for example, we're estimating our progress subjectively as a percentage complete on a project. And we might hear green reports all quarter, and then we get to the end of the quarter and it's, oh no, we're going to miss our release. We're in the red. Watermelon metrics happen for all sorts of cognitive bias reasons and behavioral reasons, but they tend to happen when we're subjectively assessing our progress. We work hard to replace subjective estimations of progress with objective progress measures to reduce the risk of our outcomes turning watermelon. Measurable key results also let us respond to risks and changing circumstances faster due to better progress data. There are, again, a host of cognitive biases that keep us attached to the activities we plan, whether or not they're actually leading to progress on our most important success measures. We want to eliminate the confidence gap that we talked about earlier. And without objective measures of progress to help us know whether we're on or off track, we might find ourselves projecting confidence and attached to projecting confidence instead of being confident based on information and data. And that means we might miss chances to identify and address blockers or make necessary plan shifts. So what are key results? Key results are our most important objective measures of progress and or success during a given time period, which is usually annual at the company level with some quarterly targets, and usually quarterly at the team level. They reduce our reliance on mind reading and reduce the risk that we'll have continuously moving goalposts. We can set our KRs and then work toward them and learn as we go. We use them to agree on what's important for us to achieve before we begin work. Objective measurements give us data to make important business decisions based on, and our key results are presumed to be stretch goals unless they're clearly labeled as commit. With stretch key results, we're safe to try and even fail in the pursuit of learning and progress. It's only our commits or committed measures where we must achieve 100%. So our key results are objective measures that clarify how we'll measure success and how we'll evaluate progress objectively. They may be leading indicators, and leading indicators may be as important as outcome measures. So we do think about both those leading measures and our most important outcomes. In the evolutionary OKR model, we work to write our key results as textbook key results wherever possible. Textbook key results are formed like this, with an increase, decrease, or improve as the verb, clarifying our metric of focus, stating the change that we're aiming for, and then including the from and to with our starting value and target value. An example of a textbook KR is increase customer retention by 10% from 60 to 70%. And then you'll see in the examples on the right that they're all examples that show key results in that textbook form of increase, decrease, or improve a metric of focus by a percentage from a start value to a finish value. All right, team, now that you've learned the basics of objectives and key results, here are a couple of additional places you can go to learn more. We have a newsletter at findrc.co/subscribe that you can opt into to receive emails from us with helpful tips, resources, and reminders throughout the year to keep your OKRs fresh and top of mind. You can also find tons of learning about OKRs, goal setting in general, goal attainment and factors that support goal attainment, including motivation, flow, organizational behavior, and leader and self-leadership development to drive high-performing organizations on the Thinky Doers podcast and blog. Here at Pearson, we have a phenomenal OKR Center of Excellence led by Cindy White. You can find more information about the Pearson PBS and Higher Ed OKR Center of Excellence by visiting findrc.co/PearsonCoE. Thank you so much. I hope that this has been helpful for you in establishing a new understanding of the power of evolutionary objectives and key results. Drop me a note if you have any questions. My email is sarah@redcurrentco.com, and I look forward to seeing you set and achieve ambitious, exciting, results-focused goals for the upcoming quarter.